The case of Amharic language. The usage of Amharic as the language of the court in Ethiopia's empire dates back to the 13th century. Whether this language was entirely attached to a certain people is debatable. The language, with its unique alphabet, was the official language of Ethiopia until 1991. After 1991, the TPLF-led EPRDF pushed the language by law to the rank of the working language of the federal government. However, the language still retains its social and political force across the country. Amhara, SNNP, or Southern Nations and Nationality People, Benshangul Gumuz, Gambella and Addis Ababa still use it as the working language of their administration. What happened in Tigray and Oromia regions is a thing to be considered. Tigray region allowed only Tigrigna language to be the working language of its state, and on top of that, giving Tigre identity to the likes of Raya and Wolqite people. The new generation of Tigray who left in their school days to the capital eventually learned Amharic and grew up as bilingual, those who could not make it settled in their own region. Similarly, in Oromia, Afan Oromo was introduced as the main language, giving Amharic the exit door for their children. Non-Oromos have no right to use their language and cultivate it even if they are in millions, and the constitution of Oromia region do not recognize the existence of non-Oromos in its region. That led to the formation of Qube generation, a generation which neither speak or write the Amharic alphabet, is filled with abhorrence not only to the Amharic language, but also the formation of Ethiopia as a nation. This generation is entirely confused as they became monolingual and unable to assume work in the capital, and hence more feel cornered. Now, Ethiopian Ministry of Education declared its intention to start Amharic from grade 1 in all regions, as the language is the federal working language of the country. However, we are hearing a lot of croaking like monsoon frogs from political activists of Tigray and Oromo. They want the role of their respective language to assume the status of Amharic and at the same time avoid Amharic in their backyard. This is a double standard and a red herring which lacks basic knowledge of the country. On top of that, they could not see the issue in its entirety. The first part of their mourning is the ultra-nationalists across the board still use Amharic in their media outlets. Reality checks in today's Ethiopia reveals all forms of symposiums and people-to-people relations are communicated through and by the use of Amharic. Oromo versus Somali, Oromo versus Tigray, Sidama versus Tigray. The list is countless, and facts speak for themselves. Thabo Mbeki, the former president of South Africa, stated, when commenting about the reform process taking place under Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopia should maintain its legacy as an independent nation from colonization. He further stressed the importance of Amharic as a lingua franca as it bridges the country. The choice of language usage should be left for professionals and not politicians. Politicians want to superimpose their interest on the people by fabricating deceits and narrations that will sensitize the youth. When choosing the language on different levels, it should help the society as a whole, not a certain group. It has to study its feasibility, importance, and reality on the ground. Language needs a lot of work and generation to thrive. In Ethiopia, nobody forbids to write books, plays, and broadcast TV and radio channels in various languages. How many non-Amharic media outlets do we find? Maybe near to zero. What happened? Who prohibited? The answer is none. The reform looks a positive move, as many people could be able to navigate resources written in Amharic. The people who were barred to communicate would be released and assume work, business, and enjoy all fruits of our country if peace and security is maintained. Thank you.